Test 1, 2, 3.
Test that again, Mayor.
Test 1, 2, 3.
We are recording.
All right. Good evening. Welcome to the June 10th, 2024 Township Committee meeting held at 7 p.m. at the Municipal Building, 770 Coopertown Road here in Delanco. Can we get a roll call, please, Janice?
Okay, Ms. Fitzpatrick is absent. Mr. Olet is absent. Ms. Seuss?
Here.
Mr. Templeton?
I'm here.
Mr. Bartlett?
Here. Also present, Mr. Schwab, our Township Administrator, Mr. Fox, our Township Engineer, Mr. Raymond, our Township Solicitor, Mrs. Laura, Municipal Clerk, Mrs. Russell, our Deputy Municipal Clerk, Mr. Fenimore, our Superintendent of Public Works, and Mr. Tilger, our Police Chief. Please rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have the sunshine statement, please, Janice.
Please be advised that proper notice of this meeting has been given in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act in the following manner. Written notice has been mailed to the Burlington County Times and Courier Post and published in the January 4th, 2024 editions. And written notice has been posted on the official bulletin board of the Township of Delanco at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. This meeting of the Delanco Township Committee may be transmitted via live stream on YouTube video. The streaming of the meeting is not intended to be relied upon as formal public access under the Open Public Meetings Act. And if the technology is disrupted for any reason, the township meeting will proceed in person as an official meeting in accord with the official notice.
All right, thank you very much. We will start the evening off with ordinance 2024-13, an ordinance to amend an ordinance entitled, quote, an ordinance of the Township of Delanco providing for and determining the rate of compensation of officers and employees, second reading by title only and public hearing. Hearing is open to the public for ordinance 2024-13. Seeing no members of the public approaching the podium, hearing is closed to the public, and I will ask for a motion to approve ordinance 2024-13.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Seuss, second by Mr. Templeton. Roll call, please.
Ms. Seuss?
Yes.
Mr. Templeton?
Yes.
Mr. Bartlett?
Yes. Ordinance 2024-14, an ordinance by the Township Committee amending the Delanco Township Code of Ordinances to repeal Chapter 65, Flood Damage Prevention, to adopt a new Chapter 65, to adopt flood hazard maps, to designate a floodplain administrator, and providing for severability and an effective date, second reading by title only and public hearing. Hearing, again, is now open to the public for ordinance 2024-14. If you have any comments, please approach the podium and state your name and address for the record. Again, seeing no movement, we will close the public hearing for ordinance 2024-14, and I'll ask for a motion, please.
So moved, or a motion? Yeah, so moved.
You got it, Mike.
It's been a while since I've done
He
it.
doesn't usually do the first one.
No, I don't. Out of practice.
Is there a taker for a second, Carolyn?
I'll second.
All right, can we have a roll call, please?
Ms. Seuss?
Yes.
Mr. Templeton?
Yes.
Mr. Bartlett?
Yes. All right, meeting is now open to the public for anything other than those first two ordinances. This is comments and questions session number 1. If you have a comment or question, please approach the podium, give your name and address for the record, and make your comment and or question. We don't do it like the school board does. It's anything and everything. Yep, you can approach the podium, Vera. No problem. Just give your name and address for the record.
Vera Dormo, 605 Hickory Street. Just wait 1 second here. I'm concerned about the Walnut Street School Field. I brought this up before at the Board of Ed meeting. Now that that land is not tied to a school anymore, I'm concerned that the state could look at that as being used for affordable housing. So I was looking through, trying to look through some of these regulations and what land could be excluded from being considered for affordable housing. And I found something that said, sites designated for active recreation or recreational purposes in the municipal master plan, that kind of site might be taken off land to be considered developable for affordable housing. So I'm wondering, is that site on the municipal master plan as recreation? Does anyone know the answer to that? The Walnut Street School Field?
Is it on for?
I would assume it's on a tax roll, if it's on the master plan.
It's zoned, just saw on Facebook that it was zoned as recreation, but is it on the municipal master plan as recreation?
Well, that lot, Vera, the half of the lot closest to you with the track on it,
That's what I'm talking about.
that one has a deed restriction on it, where it can only be used for I forget the exact words, but recreation and athletic purposes for the residents of the township, from when the township conveyed that to the Board of Education 50, 60, 70 years ago.
Okay, but is it on the municipal master plan listed
That I
as that?
cannot tell you.
So that, I think, is important as maybe a safeguard to keep it used for recreation, because I'm not a lawyer, but looking at some of these new regulations, or not, actually what I'm looking at is from 2014, it's not new. It said that that land deemed for active recreation or recreational purposes should be on the municipal master plan. But then it says also municipalities may reserve 3% of their total developed and developable acreage for active municipal recreation and exclude this acreage from consideration as potential sites for low and moderate income housing. So Delanco already has Pennington Park and West Ave, so maybe we already have 3% already for active or for recreation, is that right?
True, we're well above that.
We're well above that, so
Yes.
that wouldn't be,
But that property is, per tax coding, is still the Board of Ed property. And so that's outside any municipal recreation listing. It's not on the recreation and open space inventory through DEP's Green Acres program, because it's Board of Ed property.
so the Board of Ed, would they be able theoretically to put it on the recreational open space inventory list?
That's a municipality function.
Could it legally be transferred over to the municipality to be put on that list as an extra protection, so it would not be deemed being developable for affordable housing?
As Mr. Bartlett mentioned, there appears to be some significant restriction on it at present for a good part of that lot. But as I said, it's presently Board of Ed property, and it's expected to remain Board of Ed property, period.
And legally, it could not be transferred over to the town?
That's a
Just-
Board of Ed question, if they would.
No, I'm just saying, even if they were amenable, that sort of transfer could happen?
I would just jump in. I'm not familiar with, she's asking for a legal opinion, so I just thought, I'm not familiar with the piece of property that you're talking about, but certainly I'll mention it to Mr. Heinel, who's the solicitor on the normal basis, and have him look into, whether there's anything that we can do from the township's perspective to address the concerns that you've raised.
Okay, thank you, those are my questions.
Thank you, Ms. Garma. Anyone else has any questions or comments? There will be another session later on in the meeting, in case you think of something. All right, we will close this portion of the meeting and go to comments and reports. Start with our professionals. I'll start with my left, Mr. Raymond.
The only thing that I have, and this, I guess, goes a little bit to the last comment as well, Mr. Heinel did want me to give an update as, for the benefit of the public. The state has issued new rules with regarding to affordable housing. Thankfully, because of the diligent work the township has done in the past with their planning and compliance, The initial review from the expert seems to indicate that Delanco is in a very good position to achieve compliance with the new rules without the need for any further substantial development. The township's final number is an estimate at this point, so nothing is set in stone. But again, it seems like because of the planning that the township has done through the years, we're in a good spot, and hopefully we'll not have any need for further affordable housing, at least for this round of affordable housing. And that's all I have
That's all you got?
for my report, yes.
All right. All right, go to, anybody have any questions for Mr. Raymond?
Nope.
All right. Mr. Fox, the floor is yours.
You all received my status report, but I'll go over
Yeah.
some pertinent items where I can give you an update on. The Zubrook seawall, as you know, we awarded that contract to Capella Construction. I have met with him several times since the award. He seems very eager to get started on the project, and he's raring to go. We are having a pre-construction meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. at Town Hall. If anyone would like to join that wasn't invited, feel free. That's mostly to do housekeeping and paperwork and things like that. We will review the project in some detail. He would like to start, actually, and I know that people have probably seen the stakes out there on the lot. They are survey stakes, as Councilman Seuss posted, I know on Facebook and on the website, I believe. So they're survey stakes, and we ask anybody from the public, I know no one here will do it, but not to disturb the stakes that are out there. They're important for the layout of the project. The contractor will be putting up a fence, a safety fence around the entire property, about 3 feet off of the sidewalk, once he starts bringing materials and equipment. So at that point in time, there will be no access. But until then, please don't disturb the stakes that are out there.
So essentially, the park will be closed.
The park will be closed. The Field of Dream access road, I did order the speed bumps, and they are scheduled to be in on Thursday. They're going to be delivered to you, John. I had them make sure that they have a lift truck, so you don't have to break your back getting them out. Shouldn't be that heavy, should they? Well, there's 2 of them that are 20 feet long. We got 40 feet of them, and they're dense rubber, so it's all going to be on a pallet, and so that should be coming in. I gave them your name to deliver it to, and again, it should be in on Thursday.
Are they removable?
Yes, they are removable. They're Yep, they're bolted down with lag bolts, and they're a black rubber with yellow safety stripes, and they also have what we call cat eyes in them, so at nighttime your lights reflect off of them. And yes, it's just a matter of, in the wintertime, unscrewing, I guess it's probably about 15 bolts each, and lift them up and take them off. Also with that, the striping is supposed to be scheduled for this week. I don't have an exact date yet. As soon as I do, I will notify everyone by email. I know it's been kind of a tough situation with our parking lot here and out at River's Edge. But as soon as we know the definite schedule again, I will let everyone know. They are going to restripe River's Edge and Newton's Landing, any of the defective stripes that are out there, striping crosswalks, stop bars. So that's being done at no cost. They have to repaint everything. And we're actually making them put in thermoplastic for the one-way on River's Edge, because it's driven on more frequently than the yellow lines on the side. So the yellow lines on the side can be paint, but rather than have it wear off in a year or two, we're going to put thermoplastic in for the turn arrows and the one-ways.
They're already gone from when they just did the 4 months ago.
Yes, one of the supervisors came out and looked at it and couldn't believe it either.
It's like watercolors.
It was, I've never seen that before, but they're gonna come back and redo it. The storm pipe on Delaware Avenue on 719, crossing 719.
Yep.
As you know, there is an issue with that pipe. It's clogged and damaged. I'm getting quotes from at least 2 contractors I'm getting a quote to replace the entire pipe from the inlet on Delaware Avenue to the river. Another price just to fix what we call spot repair, the pipe that's broken or damaged. So we have options. If we want to replace the whole thing, we'll have a price for it. If we want to just do the repair, we'll have a price for that as well.
Is the section between the 2 curbs okay?
Yes.
Okay, so it's just the part underneath the,
Just the part-
the land?
Yep.
Okay, well, that's good.
And I asked them to include sod instead of seed for restoration.
All right.
So we do have one price already, and I'm waiting for the second price. It should be in any moment now.
Gary, did you say the duck bills are included in that price, or we're going to do that separately afterwards?
No, we're going to do duck bill separately afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was suggesting the duck bills, John and I can look around and see where we want to put duck bills throughout the town and maybe do them all at once or as many as we can do. The Creek Road, the lighting, the field lighting, we are receiving bids on the 20th. On your agenda, you have a resolution. What we kind of worked out was we could purchase the lights and all the Musco equipment through the co-op program. We don't have to go to bids for that or anything. We can just do a purchase order and get the lights ordered. I sent an email out today. I don't know if anybody had a chance to read it or not, but essentially what the benefits are is soon as, if this gets approved, we can order the lights tomorrow. So that starts the lead time for them manufacturing steel and et cetera. They do have the concrete bases more available, which takes time as the actual light fixtures and the poles.
Right.
So in the specifications, we have that the contractor has to install all the underground conduit, wiring, and concrete bases by July, I believe what the date was, July 30th or something like that. So all that work would have to be done. And then as soon as the light poles come in, he has 14 days to install those light poles.
And that's just really a couple days worth of work.
It is, they can do that in a couple days, yes. They'll bring a crane in and
Yeah,
they're all
just prefab,
basically pre-assembled, yeah, they lift them up.
erector sets.
Yeah,
So the majority of the work, digging for the conduit and everything will be done in July when the fields are closed?
yes.
Good.
And hopefully, if the lights come in quicker, we're going Musco as much as we can, and they may come in quicker, we may have the whole thing done by the end of July. That's the big key that we're trying to get done.
They're going to have a good irrigation map to work off.
Yes, and yeah.
Please.
Yeah, and we're gonna lay out the location of the poles, because there is, between field 1 and 2, there's a underground drainage
Right.
system. So we want to make sure we avoid that.
Please.
And we do have the plan of the irrigation system.
A lot of mark out.
There'll be a lot of marking out, yeah. But these guys do this, that's all they do. So we've already had, I'm gonna say 5 or 6 contractors pick up specs.
Good.
So that's a good thing. So that's where we're at on that, if anybody has any questions. Then the last thing is the CDBG grant, the 2024. We did, as you know, received $75,000 for that. We applied for more than that to do, I think it was 37 ramps or something like that, but that's all the money that we received. So with that money, we can do about 15 ramps under today's prices. We'll meet with the governing body and Richard and John and decide which ramps we're going to do. And we'll bring them to the committee. We can probably do that at the next meeting that I'll be attending, and we can move on from there. Okay, and that's all I have.
Circling back to flooding and duck bills, have you had a response from Mr. Brickley about the Riverside flooding?
He is still insisting that it's not needed and it won't work.
But he hasn't given a reason why.
Now, he relies on a report that was done 20 years ago or so. And I don't agree with that, but it's his road.
All right, we'll go another route on that then.
Yeah, because it will definitely work.
No, you put a plug in it, the water stops going up. It's like elementary school
He
science.
is saying that all his reports say that it's not coming up from the pipe, it's coming around the back of the property, where the Clarence's used to be.
I don't understand why he just doesn't look at it. He lives in Riverside. We could see with our own eyes it's coming up through the pipes.
He lives in Riverside?
Yeah. Okay, we'll address that another way.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone have any
I do,
questions?
I have a couple questions.
All right.
Harry, Ash Street, I haven't talked to you about this in a couple months. Can we get a status on that?
Yeah, we still not have heard, we have not heard from the state. They haven't provided their written report. They actually told us verbally
Months ago,
several months ago
yeah.
that they did review it and are waiting for the report to get done. They're down to one person in that office that's handling the whole state. And that's the last I know. I will, so I can reach out again.
Shoot an email, just to remind them.
Yeah, yeah. But that's where we stand.
It's for the second remediation funding.
Correct.
The handicap ramp redos, that, the subpar work that was done, where do we stand with that?
Yeah, that's, we removed the tree, John did it for us. We moved the tree on is that Walnut and Spruce. That had to be removed before they can do more concrete work to fix that ramp. So that's done now, and we're going to get a contractor out there as soon as possible to repair all those. He should be out there within, I would say it'll all be done in the next 2 weeks.
And that's including the blacktop at the edge of it?
Yeah, the blacktop, there's bad slopes on some of them,
Yeah.
there's bad finishes on some of them. Wasn't a great job.
No.
And we have, he has the punch list and knows what he has to do. But we said we were waiting for the tree, so he can do all the work at once.
The street end seawalls, the dirt that's eroding away when it meets the grass, do you have any suggestions for that?
Yeah, I'm going to contact the contractor that did that. Technically, he's still responsible. He's still not even going to maintenance bond, and we haven't even paid him his full amount yet. But I will get him out there to backfill those holes.
Yeah, it's every one
If he
of them.
doesn't, we can do it and back charge what we ultimately owe him, but he's not even asking for that money, so. But yes, we have one or two ways. I'll contact him. If he comes out and fixes it, great. If he doesn't, we can do it and back charge him.
The contractor planted trees too, the new trees that are down there?
He only did bushes. There were some bushes that were put in. But I don't believe there's any trees that. Is there one?
Yeah, the one at Oakford is
Okay.
dead.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take a look at that.
Thanks. I think that's it.
Oh, last thing, Harry. The Zerberg Park, did the Hunter Research get out there and do that photo documentation survey that the SHPO wanted?
No, they promised that they would do it in 2 weeks, and that was a week and a half ago. So I'm going to call them again tomorrow and at least get them, make sure that they get photos that they need before any work happens.
Yeah, because we've got to start that work like now, so the bid, yeah, pre-con's tomorrow.
Yeah, technically, he's not allowed to start until July 1st. But
Actually driving the pilings and all that.
yeah, driving the pilings and doing,
But any of the pre-construction.
installing anything. But he can come out before that and do some site clearing, and get set up, get the materials in there, and get ready to go, so on July 1st, they can start.
And ideally, we don't want him to do that until after Hunter takes the photos.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, I'm going to get on tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
John, are you gonna be at tomorrow's meeting?
I'll try to.
Okay. I'll figure out when he's gonna start and just email you about the benches and stuff, and we gotta get them out. I just wanna leave them there until the latest, so people can enjoy them, and, yeah.
All right.
And this contractor's being really great to work with, and I'm sure he would remove the benches if you wanted him to do it rather than John. It's
Yeah,
too
okay.
much.
We'll talk about it tomorrow. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Harry. All right. Township Administrator, Mr. Schwab.
Thank you. Figure out which one to use. As I wrote you before, one thing I want to report is on the software for the assessor's office. Our new assessor has proposed changing the software to a upgraded version that he is more accustomed to using. And I sent you information about it. For the 2024 term, there's a $750 extra cost for that portion, but the overall assessor's budget is $3,000. The expenditures will be $3,000 under what's budgeted. So, and then the cost for the software on an annual basis afterwards is less. But it's only because we're doing the final 6 months, and then we'll do a new contract in January. So if anyone has any questions, I'd like to, have somebody do just a motion to authorize the purchase of the new assessor software as I proposed.
I'll make that motion to purchase that software.
All right, motion by Carolyn, second by Mike, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. The other thing is a public reminder, you have in your consent agenda the capital ordinance for the road work and the bond ordinance for most of the projects that we had planned, so we can get moving on those things. And I didn't hear any questions, so I assume everyone's okay on that. There'll be a public hearing at the next meeting.
Is that everything, Rich?
Yeah, that's all I have.
All right, anyone have any questions for Richard? All right, go to the department heads. Chief?
Good evening, thank you. I'll start with giving May's final statistics for the month. During the month of May, the officers handled 1,013 calls for service. They conducted 89 motor vehicle stops, issued 32 motor vehicle summonses, initiated 19 police cases, and there were 6 adult arrests. Don't have much of a list, but a few things just to touch upon. For the past couple of weeks, the officers attended the rec department's movie night where Top Gun was shown. We also started our wellness program with Dr. Kelly. So far, 4 of our officers have attended and getting good positive feedback, so I'm happy to report that. As everybody knows, that was a program that I really pushed for, and I'm happy that everyone approved it. The officers attended the Pearson 5K race, and also on the 7th, we had 2 of our officers participate in the torch run, the law enforcement torch run for Special Olympics. Detective Lippick and Officer Correa represented us, and it was nice to see them participate again. This is the second year they've done it. This Saturday, we have we're going to try it again, the Coffee with a Cop. It got rained out last time, so hopefully everybody can come out and meet some of the officers. It'll be pied out from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We're really looking forward to that. And the last thing I have to report, we had a supervisors meeting on the 5th, which was a nice meeting. During those meetings, we discussed topics, good, bad, and different that are going on in the department to try to work together to form a plan to make sure, we're operating at the best we can. So that was a nice meeting, and we'll probably have a departmental meeting coming up in the next month or two, once we get settled down with some of the other events. And that's all I have to report tonight.
So your recruit graduating this month?
He's scheduled to graduate on the 20th.
Great.
So,
Awesome.
looks like he's going to make it, but we'll see that
hope
in our
so at this
report
point.
back after graduation.
Okay.
Very good. Looks like you're going to have sunny weather this Saturday for cookout or,
Once again, I'll knock on wood, and let's hope it stays that way.
Yeah.
that'd be nice.
Tropical storm developed
Yeah.
or something.
Anyone have any questions for the chief?
No.
All right. Mr. Fenimore?
Yes, good evening. We picked up 60 cubic yards of brush. We cut all township properties 4 times. We cut 2 residential properties for the zoning officer. We turned the leaves. We removed 1 tree at West Avenue Trail, put out a half a ton of patch or potholes. We lined and dragged the fields 13 times. We delivered 20 yards of compost. We put up all the flags, and now, I guess that's my next question. Do you want them to stay till Flag Day?
Through 4th of July.
Yeah, okay. Just, because a couple of them are getting a little tangled, so they get caught on the telephone pole.
If you see one that's ripped, take it down. If otherwise, keep the rest up.
We finally swept the whole town. We finally replaced the door that has taken almost 2 years at the Public Works garage door. That it's been, and the doors that they make now are way better than the doors that they had. Because the doors that we had were bad doors. They let water get on the inside and they rust from the inside out. And when you mix salt with that, they really go. We had the sweeper lettered. I don't know if anybody saw it around. Yeah, we finally got that. That looks good. The ditch at West Avenue, goes to the river. I got the county in and they cleaned the ditch out. They removed several trees in the ditch, like behind Nichols. There's in the Beverly side that were stopping water, restricting water, so we finally got that all cleaned out. And they took away 2 30-yard dumpsters of debris, all logs. And I went there today, and there's a real big log back in it already. So that's ongoing. I got to trim the 2 trees out at the Field of Dreams for Wi-Fi, so they look a little big hole in the middle of the 2 trees. That's there for a reason, because the Wi-Fi is getting to the telephone
Bless you.
pole or the
Bless you.
camera. Yeah, they need to get that done. And we finally got our paint lining machine, and we had a guy train 5 of us on Thursday. And there's a lot to do with it, but the most important thing is to clean it when you get done. That's
Please.
the most important thing. So, till we get the feel of it, we'll start practicing and we'll go to town.
John, the sprayer, it can do street lines, curb lines, fields? What are all the aspects of it?
We can paint the curbs, we can paint the stop bars, and we can line the ball fields, the outfield lines, and then we can do the soccer fields.
Good.
Great.
So,
Well, the curbs will be done by next week then, right? Very good.
yeah, it's gonna take a little get used, running the machine out there, but everybody was nervous when we were running it the other day, and we only had water in it. But there's a lot of stuff that you gotta learn. The 3 steps you gotta do, most important, and once you get the feel of it, it'll be like nothing,
Yeah,
Good.
hopefully.
hopefully.
Don't jinx yourself, John.
That's all I have.
All right. Anyone have any questions for John?
Actually, I got a late question for the chief. The stuff that's been in the news of community events and kind of out-of-control crowds, a lot of young people, don't want to blame young people wholly, but I would think that's a topic of discussion amongst
Yeah, it's. yeah,
your
obviously-
colleagues and.
Yeah, obviously with everything that's going on, multiple events having multiple issues.
Yeah.
I think the key with we're all trying to formulate plans now of, being over-prepared rather than under-prepared. But sometimes, when, take the shore, for example, I mean, it's hard to combat when you have thousands of people
Right.
show up at a location. And, you got to use the whole county to call in law enforcement to try to, so, with our town, luckily, I mean, our events, we can kind of prepare more, I think, for bigger events like our Cookout with a Cop, which we're going to start talking about doing our second Cookout with a Cop later in the summer, early fall. So it's just a matter of making sure we got the manpower and, we do our homework and try to do everything we can to prevent that, an incident like that happening. So.
Just a quick side note to piggyback off of that. I attended the Edgewater Park Centennial event on Saturday, and there was a huge police presence there. All of the Edgewater Park Police Department was out there, along with the sheriff, and it was great to see everybody out there, but there was no incidents whatsoever. It was a nice event, and hopefully the incidents with the problems are not the norm going forward.
Hopefully they stay down the shore at least.
Happened in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you.
Mrs. Laura.
Yes, the one thing that I have in your packets is a copy of the proposed detailed Affordable Housing Trust Fund monitoring report under the new Round 4 affordable housing requirements. We have to submit a detailed trust fund report, and it's due this Friday to the DCA. Our affordable housing planner has prepared that in, we had to break down the categories between residential, commercial, industrial, and undifferentiated. So that was in your packet for review, and so I'm just looking to, for a motion to accept that so that it can be submitted by this Friday to the DCA as required under the Round 4 regulations.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And that's all I have for now. Thank you.
All right.
I would just like to make a comment that this information takes an extraordinary amount of work by our township staff and consultant, but mainly Mrs. Lohr, to keep that straight. And it has significant adverse repercussions if it's not right. So thank you, Mrs. Lohr, for keeping us out of the penalty box.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Janice.
You're welcome.
All right, consent agenda items. Consent agenda items are considered to be routine and will be enacted with a single motion. Any item requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda. All consent agenda items will be reflected in full in the minutes. Does anyone have any items that need further discussion or want removed from consent?
No.
Good. All right, I'm going to need a drink before I start reading these. Beverly gave us some long titles on here this time. Ordinance 2024-15, ordinance authorizing the installation of various capital improvements in and for the Township of Delanco, County of Burlington, New Jersey, appropriating the sum of $225,000 therefore from the Capital Improvement Fund and $239,360 from the State of New Jersey Road Aid Grant. First reading by title only and set public hearing date for June 24th, 2024. Ordinance number 2024-16, a bond ordinance of the Township of Delanco in the County of Burlington authorizing the purchase and installation of technology improvements in the municipal building, the installation/replacement of storm drainage pipes on Hickory Street and along Delaware Avenue, improvements to recreation facilities at various parks, and the purchase of equipment for the police department, appropriating the total sum of $588,200 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $558,790 bonds or notes of the township for financing such appropriations, and making certain determinations and covenants, and authorizing certain related actions in connection with the foregoing. First reading by title only and set public hearing date for June 24th, 2024. Ordinance 2024-17, an ordinance authorizing the grant of real property license with respect to 309 Burlington Avenue at Block 1401, Lot 6, first reading by title only, and set public hearing date for June 24th, 2024. Resolution 2024-86, resolution appointing deputy municipal tax assessor. Resolution 2024-87, specifying the salaries of certain employees within Delanco Township. Resolution 2024-88, refund of tax overpayments. Resolution 2024-89, authorizing the purchase of sports field lighting equipment from Musco Sports Lighting, LLC, under a Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Contract in accordance with NJSA 40A:11-1 at SEEK. Resolution 2024-90, providing for the insertion of any special item of revenue in the budget of any county or municipality pursuant to NJS 40A:4-87, Chapter 159, Public Law 1985. Resolution 2024-91, authorizing contract for HVAC maintenance services. Resolution 2024-92, disposal of out-of-service office equipment. Resolution 2024-93, resolution to refund tax overpayment due to total veteran exemption pursuant to NJSA 54:4-3.30A. Resolution 2024-94, authorizing submission of grant application and execution of grant contract for fiscal year 2025, NJ Department of Transportation Municipal Aid Grant Program. Payment of bills, current fund, $851,159.06. Payroll, $204,729.55. Capital fund, $3,257. Escrow trust, $3,089.71. Housing trust, $778.75. Approval of minutes from April 1st, 2024. Can I please have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Ike and Carolyn, roll call, please.
Ms. Seuss?
Yes.
Mr. Templeton?
Yes.
Mr. Bartlett?
Yes. Correspondence, please, Janice.
Yes, in your packets, we received a letter from, I can find it now, excuse me. Mr. Marks, a commercial property owner in town, requesting that the Township Committee consider revising the rental registration fees. You have that in your packet. And he's suggesting reversing it for the owners of 20 or more units would pay the $100, and those with under 20 units would pay the $50. So that is in your packet.
Thank you very much.
And that is all the correspondence that I have. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, meeting is now open to the public for comments and questions. This is session number 2. If you have any comments or questions, please approach the podium, give your name and address for the record. Meeting's open to the public. We were waiting for you, Ray.
I know you were. One thing,
Name and address,
Ray
Ray.
Weber, 22 Ships Way. I just want to inform the council, or the committee, that the county has started work on the 4749 Pennington. They've got it dug out quite a bit. They've got a great big backhoe back in there to lift out the pipe. So that's why I just want to let you know.
Is that what all the dead brush is? They cleared out the brush along the creek and
No.
everything? What's that about?
That's the county, they came along just to, they put some type of weed killer on it to kill it, and then they came along and cut it down, all along the path. That is to keep some of the animals as well as some of the ticks. Because been having a lot of problem with the ticks along the path. So they're cutting down on both sides,
Okay.
especially along the riverside or on the creek side.
Yeah, I noticed it was all cleared up there.
Yeah,
It's nice you can see it now.
yeah, I think so, but yeah, that's, they come along and do stuff and we find out after the fact.
Pretty much.
When we question.
Us too.
Yeah.
Yep, we know how that goes.
So, but then also too is I've had some conversations with the chief here about a couple other issues that are going on the path there. and the chief's gonna take care of it for us.
That had to do with the motorbikes that are on the path I came across yesterday?
Well, motorbikes, but then ATVs and dirt bikes, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, no lights, going 40 miles an hour along there.
Oh, that's a
I happened to be out there fixing lights on our building, because that's the way I can see whether they're sitting and where they're going, and I was up 20 feet up in the air, and they came whipping on by, I heard them coming,
Yeah.
so. But the chief said he'll take care of it for us and try to, because they're ATVs and dirt bikes, they're not e-bikes.
Oh,
And
Just make sure, tell the residents to call.
yeah, I'll get on them about it, because we live along there and stuff. So, but I was up in the air, I was about to make a phone call.
is that the first time you've heard of that, had heard them come through there?
No, from what I found out, they weren't. That is the first time, but that's the first time I've seen them. Most residents don't want to get involved,
Understood.
and that's the problem I run into with them and stuff. But I keep harping on it. In fact, my notes from tonight's meeting will be call.
Yeah, I mean, the
Complaint.
residents don't have to sign a complaint, right? It's just they
You
hear
call
them, they can
anonymously.
call. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But at least it gives us a fighting chance to try to do something about
yeah,
it.
but they were going 35, 40 miles an hour along here. No lights on them. Wasn't know whether I heard them coming. And I turned to see them, and they came whipping on by.
We
Sounds
can't,
very dangerous.
you can't get the cars back there, right? On the path?
It's
Certain
tough.
spots.
It's tough. It's cars. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Weber. Anyone else? All right, seeing none, we'll close this portion to the public. Discussion items. We have on the agenda proposed cannabis ordinance. For discussion, we're going to table this to the next meeting, which is the 24th. As we wanted the full committee to be here. And does anyone have anything else for this evening?
No.
All right, and I don't believe we need another executive session, so I'll ask for a motion for adjournment, please.
So moved.
Second.
Carolyn and Mike, all in favor? Aye. Thank you very much for coming out. Have a good night.
Record time.
Yeah,
I know, right? Me too.
good work. Sir,
All right.
what's that?
Steve, they mentioned